Coming to the concept of houses. To understand the concept of houses, I'll first start with explaining the zodiac signs properly. So, let's say this is our solar system, and this entire solar system is 360 degrees. So, to keep this simple, what the people who invented astrology did is they made this entire oval, solar system is oval shaped. They turned this entire oval shape into a square to keep it straightforward and simple. And this square is divided into 12 parts. So, as I said, this entire square is 360 degrees. 360 degrees, and this is the representation of our solar system. So all the planets or stars like moon or sun and all the 9 planets are in orbit here, except Rahu and Ketu. So 7 planets are in orbit in our solar system, and they have their own orbit. So that orbit will be through this, through these 12 boxes, or these 12 boxes are called Rashis and zodiac sign, and this entire box is 30 degree. So 30 degree for each of these box or Rashi. So there are 12, so 30 into 12, 360 degrees. So these degrees of each Rashi is fixed. This doesn't change, and Rashis don't change. Rashis and these degrees are fixed. Let's say in this chart, this is the ascendant or Lagna. So coming to the concept of houses, in this chart, wherever in all the chart, wherever Lagna starts, that becomes our first house. So from here, going clockwise, this is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and last, that is 12th. Okay, so this is a basic D1 chart that I am showing right now. D1 chart, or you can call this Parashara D1 chart. D1 chart are all in Parashara system. There are 2 systems which I am mostly going to show. Those are Parashara or Vedic Astrology or KP system. KP system, I prefer KP system over all the other systems because I feel it's very simple and straightforward. But yeah, I'll go into other systems too, like Gemini too. I'll just pick some concepts which will complement KP and Vedic astrology. Without Vedic astrology, we can't go into any system. This becomes the foundation of all the systems. Okay. So when it comes to houses, now we know that these are all in clockwise and wherever Lagna is situated. Suppose Lagna was here of a person. Wait, I'll change the color. Now let's say Lagna was here. So this would become the first house, and from here we would go clockwise, and this becomes the 12th house for this particular Lagna in this particular chart. So I feel so far you have understood the houses. So I'll show a simple example chart. to keep things simple, I'll erase this. Here. So, yeah, this is an example D1 chart where this is Lagna, this is Rahu is in Lagna, and so this is just to give an example. This is and this is an example chart. Now, here we can see Rahu is in Lagna, and the Lagna Lord or the here the Lagna is in Cancer, so the Lord of Cancer is in 10th house. This becomes the house. Okay, so Rahu is in the first house, Saturn is in 4th house, Ketu and Venus are in the 7th house, Sun and Mercury are in the 8th house, Jupiter is in the 9th house, Moon is in the 10th house, and Mars is in the 11th house. And these are all empty houses or independent houses. So, yeah, this is a simple D1 chart or Parashara chart. Now, if you understood so far that these are the houses and the Rashis remain the same, now I'll explain the proper or the detailed and in-depth version of these houses, and the name for that chart is BHAVA CHALIT. Now I'll just erase this and make a new chart. To explain the BHAVA CHALIT chart or BHAVA chart or KP chart. In KP system, this is the basic chart, but in Parashara system, this is a more detailed chart. People in Parashara first use, or in Vedic Astrology, first use the previous chart which I had shown. Now this is the basic chart in KP, where things may get a bit complex. So trying to understand this is important. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12th house. Here, each houses, this is the first house, has degrees. The same way, all the 12 houses have degrees. Now this is important to understand. Even in Vedic astrology, this is important and this is necessary. The same way, the second house, let's say, suppose has 5 degree. So, to make an imaginary line, okay. So we have understood this, that this entire box is 30 degrees. This box. And previously when I showed the chart, I said all these boxes become houses, right? But when we come into BHAVA chart or KP chart, this is actually very important because this will be more accurate. Now let's say this is 10 degree. First house is starting at 10 degree. Whichever degree has been mentioned next to the house number, that is the degree where that particular house is starting. Okay, so this is 30 degrees, so 1 by 3. So this, imagine this line is 10 degree and this is 20 degree. Okay, and this entire thing is 30. So this first house is written in this box, but it is starting from here because 10 degree is this line, and this first 10 degrees don't belong to this house. Now I'll explain that in a few minutes. Now the first house is starting from here, 10, 20, and this house is starting, the second house is starting at 5 degree. Now to understand that, let's split this sign into three parts. That is, this is 10, this is 20, and this is 5 degree. This is degree. Yeah. So this first house is from, I'll erase this. Yeah. So whenever we come to KP chart or BHAVA chart, trying to imagine this box becomes crucial, because that will be very helpful to understand the chart better and easily. Sometimes some charts it's not very often, some charts don't require you to go to degrees at all, because to see where the planets are, or to understand the houses, because they are pretty straightforward, and planets aren't above or below. Okay, I'll finish this first. So the first house is from here to here. So suppose suppose here in the first house Jupiter is situated, just like the previous. Jupiter is situated just like Rahu was situated in the previous chart, example chart I made. Jupiter is situated, and each of the 9 planets and the Lagna, all of these things, all of the 9 planets and the Lagna have degrees. Even the 9 planets have degrees. So let's say Jupiter is at 5 degree. Now Jupiter is situated in the first house. Here, according to the simple view, but the first house is starting at 10 degree. So first house is from here to here, and Jupiter is at 5 degrees, so it is behind 10. So Jupiter comes here in this portion of the first box. So Jupiter is at 5 degree, so it becomes 12th house. Jupiter here, it may be written here, but the result that Jupiter is showing, let's say 12th house 12th house here is showing 15 degree. I'm just rounding off these degrees to keep things simple. Okay, so 12th house here, I'll change the color. So 12th house, let's say, is 15 degrees, so half of this box, and is till here. So this entire thing, this green box, becomes the 12th house, and Jupiter falls here. So when Jupiter is written as 5 degrees, the planet in its orbit in the sky has entered this portion, but these houses are imaginary. So these houses can vary a lot. It may even start at 28 degree or 21 degree or 1 degree or 2 degrees. The first house are all the houses. Here it will always in a BHAVA or KP chart, the houses can always vary. Like some houses are 25 degree, some houses are 32 degrees. So yeah, so here Jupiter falls in the 12th house. Even the Rashi Pala, or the fruits of the planet according to Rashi will be this Rashi only, because it is in this zone, but it belongs to the 12th house. So I feel I've explained it in simple way. I'll show you an example for BHAVA chart. Okay. In this example chart, uh, in the first house is starting to understand the placement of each planet, whether they are in the same house that have been written, or in the previous or the next previous house or the next house here. Okay, this first house is starting at 15 degree. So Jupiter here is showing 5 degree. So Jupiter is before 15 degrees. So Jupiter becomes 12th, belongs 12th house. So Jupiter equals 12th. So the signification or the results Jupiter is going to show here is of the 12th house. And Rahu is 16 degree. So Rahu is 16 degree, and 16 is after 15. So Rahu is in the first house. The same way, Saturn is shown in the fourth house place, but fourth house is starting at 24 degree, and Saturn is at 5 degree. So Saturn becomes third house. Third house is from 21, or almost the ending of this particular box, from there to the ending of here. So the imaginary box would look like this. Yeah, somewhat like that. So Saturn is showing the results of third house. Saturn, third. Okay, next coming to Ketu. Here you can see one thing, that is Rahu and Ketu are always going to be in the opposite houses. 1 and 7, or suppose Rahu was in 3, Ketu would be in the 9th house. So it's always going to be in the opposite. Rahu and Ketu are the head and the tail. So yeah, they will be opposites. And Rahu and Ketu will always have the same degree. The degrees don't change when it comes to Rahu and Ketu. And you can see one more thing, that is all the in KP chart all the opposite houses have the same degree. Here first house and seventh house has 15, second and third have 18. Now these numbers are just written randomly to keep things simple and explain what a BHAVA CHALIT chart looks like. But in total, all these degrees will also lead to 360 degree only. I've just rounded this off and tried to keep this chart very simple, because sometimes people can make this chart very complex, whereas this chart is very simple. Yeah. So second house and 8th house, these two are opposite houses, and 18 degrees. Third and 9th, 21 and 21 degrees. 4th and 10th are opposite, so 24 and 24. 5th and 11th, 27 and 27. 6th and 12th, 18 and 18 degrees. So in a KP chart or BHAVA chart, opposite houses are going to have the same degree. The houses next to each other may have different degrees, but the opposite are going to have same. Okay, here Ketu is showing 16 degree. So Ketu is in the 7th house. because 7th house is starting at 15 degrees and Ketu is at 16 degrees. Even though in the software or anywhere you check your horoscope, it may be Ketu may be written below this particular house or degree representation. It may be just written here, but the result is from here to here. Okay, so Ketu belongs in the 7th house. Next, coming to Venus. Venus is 28 degree and the 8th house is starting at 18. So Venus is in the 8th. Next, coming to Sun. Sun is at 18 degrees and the 9th house is starting at 21 degrees. So Sun is also in the 8th house, because 9th is starting at 21 and Sun has 18 degrees, so it's below, so it comes in this box. Yeah. Now coming to Mercury. Mercury is in the 11th is showing 11 degrees and 10th house is showing 24 degrees. So Mercury is in the 9th house. And Moon is 16 degrees and 11th house is 27 degrees. So Moon is 10th house. Even though it is written next to 11th, the degree is lower. And coming to Mars. Mars is 10 degree and the 12th house is starting at 18 degree. So Mars is in the 11th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Yeah. If we didn't check these degrees and we just saw the D1 chart without the degrees, then we would assume Mars is in the 12th house and Moon is in the 11th, Mercury is in the 10th, and if you did a reading based on that result, for example, each house here represents something. Let's say in the first house represents body and self, the ego of a person, everything is represented. The self of a person is represented by the first house. Now, what we would assume if we didn't check the degrees of planets or the houses, meaning BHAVA or KP chart, we would assume Jupiter and Rahu are in the first house. Whereas in reality, when we go into more detail, that is this chart, we see that Jupiter is not giving the result of the first house because Jupiter is in the 12th house. So yeah, according to checking all the charts according to degree, especially when it comes to placement, becomes very important. Now if we just check D1 chart, we'd think Jupiter is in Lagna. Now the result of Jupiter being in the Lagna and being in the 12th house would be so very different. After this concept, I'll explain all the houses and what they represent, what they control or show, just like I explained all the 9 planets in the previous videos. The same thing goes to all the 12 houses too. Here, house becomes, if you don't know the house of what a particular planet is representing, you simply won't know the type of result that planet is showing. Now, Jupiter, if it was in the first house, that person would excel in wisdom, would be very ethical and so many things, so many good things. Now, since Jupiter is signifying the 12th house here, it completely changes. Jupiter goes into the house of expense or spirituality. The result will be completely different, and especially when Jupiter is showing 12th house and Rahu is showing first house, this person will represent more of Rahu's traits when you just see the person or speak to the person, instead of Jupiter and Rahu, or just Jupiter. Yeah, that's why degrees become very important, and this chart, checking this chart is a must without, before making any predictions. So yeah, I feel this covers BHAVA CHALIT chart, and understanding this becomes crucial to know the results of each planet. So, for example, let's say Jupiter only. Here, the signification of Jupiter becomes Jupiter is in the 12th house. So 12, and the houses or the boxes Jupiter owns also gets added here. Meaning Jupiter owns this. This is Sagittarius and 6th house. So 6, and here Pisces is owned by, or the lord of Pisces is Jupiter. So the 9th. This becomes the signification of Jupiter, because Jupiter is in the 12th house and Jupiter owns 6th and 9th houses in this chart. So the results will be of Jupiter being in the 12th house and Jupiter owning the 6th and 9th house. Now if you wanted to check what the result of this would be, you would have to see the Jupiter being in 12th house, because this is called hit, or I'll explain the hit theory later. Is simply where the planet is situated. Wherever the planet is situated, or we call it hit, the planet will give 100% result of that particular house. Yeah. Whereas when it comes to 9th house, even though Jupiter owns this house, the result will be a bit less, because Sun is also providing the same, or Mercury is providing the same. Sun is in the 8th house, so Mercury is in the 9th house. So Mercury is showing the result of 9th house. So the result will be a bit divided between Jupiter and Mercury. Whereas Jupiter being hit in the 12th house will give almost 100% of that particular signification. So if you wanted to understand this, the result of this, Jupiter in the 12th house is the thing you'll have to look for. Yeah, I think this covers BHAVA CHALIT chart, or the KP chart. So from the next video, I'll explain each of these houses, each of the 12 houses, so that we can know the signification of each house, or what are the things that each of these houses control in our chart, so that we can see the fruits or the result each of these planets are bearing, or each of these planets are indicating in our chart. Yeah.